Everybody, I hope you're doing really well today. I am Michelle Legaly. If we don't know each other, I am the creator of the Empaths and Sensitives Facebook group. And it's just going live now. Hi, everybody. If you didn't hear that before, I'm Michelle Legaly. I am the creator of the Empaths and Sensitives Facebook group and of Intuition Circle and my intuitive life coaching certification and business building program. And I want to welcome you here today. Every week I'm going live. I'm making a conscious effort to show up consistently. And I hope you're doing really well today. This group is all about empaths and sensitive souls. It's about going from surviving to thriving. I've had this group since August of 2017. It grew rapidly. I think we have about 81 or 82 or 83,000 members now. It's amazing. And it's great to have this many sensitive souls together. I want this to be a group that supports you, but I'm making a conscious effort to keep moving myself and all of us to thriving, whatever that means for you. And if you're an empath sensitive, I think we're on the same path. We have healing to do ourselves. I think we are the healers of the world. And then we are meant to go out and serve and help in some capacity. I believe that's our real life purpose of an empath. Awesome. I see so many people here. Sandra, welcome. Stacy, are you back in the United States? Sharon, good to see you. I'll see you soon. Dusty, I'll see you soon. Jordana, awesome. Paula, Tina, Linda, thank you for being here. Okay, today we're talking about giving and receiving, a huge issue for empaths and sensitives, especially if you think about the spectrum of surviving to thriving. If you get to pick where you are on that spectrum, but if you are struggling with your giving and receiving, I bet we all are, always. You know, it's not a set in stone thing, it's a balancing act. But the more out of balance the giving and receiving is, the more struggles you're going to have in your life, financially, emotionally, maybe physically, relationship wise. It's going to affect every area of your life. Can I get an amen, or do you believe that to be true? So let me ask you, for those of you who are here, like, do you believe you have balance in your giving and receiving? Yes or no? Type it in the chat. I would just love to know who is where you're at. Vicky, good to see you. Diane, back in the USA. Awesome, Stacy. Maria, good to see you. Lots of giving, little receiving. Sandra, you're speaking to the empath. I mean, this is it. This is the biggest problem we have. And it is a problem. Now, I hope I don't trigger anybody, or maybe it's a good thing. We're really good at talking about narcissists, aren't we? Like, because it's one of our biggest problems. But we look at people who want to receive a lot. We can call them narcissists. The ones that manipulate and their first focus is to receive. We call them narcissists, right? And we as empaths usually poo-poo them. We go, shame on you. How do we stay away from them? Blah, blah, blah. But the truth is, they are just as out of balance as some of us who are the over-givers. Does that make sense? Over-carers. Does that make sense? And then we can attract them. Those two out of balances have a tendency to attract each other. So one of the reasons I wanted to do this live today is, one of the things I said, why is it even a problem? It's a problem because we don't want to attract more imbalance into our life. And this giving and receiving, if we can start like consciously keeping it, staying aware to it, and then taking steps to practice it, would be huge. Okay, let me see what you guys say. No, out of balance, mostly. It takes serious effort. Yes, it does. Sometimes, no. Okay, I give. No, nope, not really. Better than I used to be, but definitely not equal. Okay, so I get it. I have this problem too. We all do. It's a continual thing. What When I'm out in the world and I hear people talking about this, I hear mostly people saying, you've got to set boundaries, da 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 da. And I think that's a great idea, but I don't think we follow through with it. So I have this technique I want to try with you. But the thing is, like, it's not a hard technique to work with, but you got to keep practicing it. You got to keep it in your consciousness. So here, hi Deborah from Peru, giving more than receiving. Yeah. Now, it's a pattern. This giving more than receiving, it's a pattern. It's a pattern you learned from your parents, maybe, or whoever you grew up with. It's a pattern because you are a sensitive soul and you can pick up on so much stuff. And I think the empaths and sensitives, I think their life purpose is to make the world a better place. And on some level, we know that, like, keeping the peace, being kind, trying to serve, it's our effort to make the world a better place. So I think on some level, it's just us living our life purpose. Does that make sense? But what's actually, so there's that. But the truth is, it's not serving you to the optimally, and it's not serving others optimally. Does that make sense? Yes, vampires. Yes, Barb. Again, I hope I don't trigger anybody. If you're attracting vampires, all we have to do is work on ourselves. What is going on inside of me that I'm attracting this? It's exciting because we have us to work with. Do you guys like the idea of we're probably doing it because we were trained, conditioned by our whoever raised us, or our life purpose is to help and serve in some capacity and to make the world a better place? And so it might be coming from that. But doing it out of balance with giving and receiving is not serving you or anybody else. So this new mindset I want you to try on for size is our effort to start becoming conscious of the giving and receiving. If you can get this and practice this, your relationships can change, your finances will change, your health, every area of your life can change when you balance giving and receiving. I agree. Awesome. Yes, yes, yes. Here's what I want you to do. Here's the practice. I think it's simple, but I want you to try it with me. So you might want to try this before you're with somebody, but when you're with someone, or maybe you're answering a text somewhere where you have a little time in between, somebody reaches out to you in some capacity. I want you to pause for a second and I want you to say, if I was going to answer this for me first, do what I want, what I think, what would I say? And then if I was going to serve them first, to make them happy, to serve them, what would I say? I want you to play out both scenarios. I want you to put them first, which I think we're already doing most of the time before you say anything. And then I want you to put you first. And how would it look different if I was going to serve me first? What would be best for my health? What would be best for my energy in this moment? How would I reply if that came first? Now, you don't have to answer that way in the beginning because you won't want to. Like, it'll be too uncomfortable for you to start being me first. You won't like it, especially if you attract narcissists. You have so much that you want to heal in that you've denied in yourself, that there's some healing there. So you don't have to go out and actually say these things if you don't want. I just want you to do them inside of you. You're going to get by yourself, and either a text is going to come through, someone leaves you a message, something happens, and you're going to get back by yourself and just go, what would I have said and done if I wanted to serve them first? And what would I have said and done if I would have done it for me? Did you guys get the difference? Yes or no? Say it in the chat. Now, do you see how this is different than we need to set boundaries? We're just not doing it very well. What if we just started here and did it internally, like, what would I say today if I was me first? And what would I say if I was them first? Just start noticing the difference. I just want you to start seeing. Yes, awesome. Thank you, Diane. I think I've been doing this. You've been doing this practice, Diane? Is that what you mean? If you have, way to go. Here's the interesting thing. There has to be a certain level of awareness in your life for you to even want to do this. Or there has to be a certain level of pain and energy drain for you to consider this and practice this idea. Or there might be a certain level of wanting a certain thing in your life that you're willing to try this because you want to move to a higher level. Does that make sense? Yes, Diane, thank you. Yes, yes. Yes, I think definitely need to try this. Okay, good guys. So this was really all I wanted to go over today. Like, this is a simple practice. It's all internal. This thing about giving and receiving and it becoming more in balance, I'm telling you, it's going to affect every area of your life. It's about to happen. I start certification with my program today. And it's going to happen. We have business training too. Giving and receiving payment for your services, receiving feedback. Like, it's going to trigger a lot of people when we have to address this giving and receiving. When you start to balance this out, you get to express more of your true self. You get to receive more. Your level of receiving is equal to the amount of expression of your true self. I know I'm starting to ramble. There's so many layers to this. There's so many doorways we can go through to heal this, but I just want to start here today. All we need is you to heal this. The narcissist out there doesn't need to change. The kids don't need to change. Nothing needs to change except you. And that is the most empowering thing I can say to you because we always have you. You just have to make the choice that I want to work on me so that I get to see a difference in my life, or I get to see more love in my life, more money in my life. Whatever you're wanting and desiring, you get more of that through the door of practicing your balancing of giving and receiving. Does that make sense? This will take some doing. Yes, it will. Please give me an example of putting me first and not them. Okay, Jasmine, I'll give you an example. Let me just give you a real one. Oh, well, this is a I don't know if this is a great example, but it just happened to me. So I'm working today. My kids know I'm working, but I had to run into the kitchen to grab a salad. As soon as I ran in, one of my daughters came in and told me about a problem she was having. And I listened for about 1 minute and I had to stop and say, I'm happy to I'm happy to talk to you about this at 4 o'clock today when I'm finished. But right now I have to do a Facebook Live and I have to eat my lunch. Is that okay? Like, I guess that really is like boundaries, but I had to put myself first. And honestly, I don't know if I would have even done that if I hadn't had to be on here with you guys. So, like, I'm working on it too. But that's an example of just like I had to put myself first, or I had to put you guys and us first because I had already made this commitment. Does that make sense, Jasmine? That's in the moment. I'll give you another example of not in the moment. My husband texted me this morning and said, I need to talk to you about something. My first reaction was to call him in the moment and say, what can I help you with? What's going on? Because that's what he would do for me. And I want to be a partner, that kind of partner too. But I stopped for just a second and said, wait a minute. If I'm working on me and my stuff right now, what would I do? Would I still call him or would I hold off? And I texted him and I said, if this is an emergency, let's talk now. If this can hold off until I'm free, is that okay? Does that make sense? I took a pause and he said, yeah, we can talk later. It's not an emergency. Does that make sense? I know these things are so simple and I don't know if they're silly examples, but if we build this muscle of like pausing and saying, wait, them or me, would I handle it differently? Them first or me first? You get to decide which way to do it, but let's become conscious of how you're operating. And I'm telling you, if we keep operating them first, 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 you're going to you're going to put in this group, I'm drained. My energy's drained. Why don't people support me as much as I support them? I can't take it anymore. I want to isolate. That's because we're doing them. It's a pattern that we're not even conscious of. Does that make sense? So now what I'm asking you to do today is I'm not asking you to behave differently yet. I'm just asking you to go, wait, if I was going to do it them first, what would I do? You already know the answer. You're already doing it probably. And then go, if I was going to do it me first, what would I do and say? And then from there, you can start having a higher level of awareness. And if I can start to get you to sometimes do it the me first way, with them first way, and start getting used to sometimes me first, sometimes them first, getting that, becoming that's the new pattern, you are going to have more energy, more clarity, more space in your life, more money, more opportunities. Everything gets better, I promise. Maybe not at first when your family, friends, kids go, what? You're always there for me. It could get a little wonky at first, but stick with me. Just stay aware. Just stay aware that you're coming out of the them first pattern and moving into the me and them, me and them, me and them pattern. I want to move into the me and them pattern. Is that helping? Okay, Paula says, wow, 50 years of them first, hard habit to break. Yes, Paula, that's why the next move is first move was them. All I want you to do is maybe them. No. Next thing I want you to do is just several times a day go, how would I do this if I was going to do it differently? Me first, them first. You don't even have to change your behavior. The only behavior you're changing is your level of awareness. How would I do this me first? And how would I do this them first? A lot of you will not like this because it's a pattern. The pattern of them. Yeah, it may drain you and cause an imbalance, but it's the pattern you're used to. We would rather stick with patterns that we're comfortable with, even though we don't like them, than to move into a new pattern. That's a harder thing to do, is to move into a new pattern. Does that make sense? I'm pretty sure I don't have another 50 years to turn it around. Better get on it. Yes, we can change in a moment. Yes. Joan, I definitely need to work on this. Good. So Joan, what are you going to do? All you're doing today is you might have to I am a big fan of setting my phone to ring for me to stop and pause and go, wait, if I was doing this them first, what am I doing? If I'm doing it me first. And my goal is to start to balance out my awareness of how I'm operating. I call this the dangling carrot if you're a mother. If you're a mother, and I have girls, maybe it doesn't matter if you have girls or boys, I do not want my girls to continue the pattern of them. We get sick, we're drained, them, exhausted. I don't want that pattern to carry on to the next generation, right? I want them to start going, serve others, help myself, them, me, them. I want them to have a balance. I want to break the cycle. And I can't just say the words to my girls. I have to act. I have to be the example. And then that's how it breaks the pattern. When I do me first, I'm called selfish, says Lee. Yes, so there's a lot of you guys. Yeah, this stuff's gonna come up now anytime you start to change a pattern, the crappy crap comes up, right? To me, when I started to do this, I felt selfish. I got called selfish. I got called a narcissist. And I shut down because I thought, am I? Am I these things? Here's the deal. We're all on the same spectrum from narcissists to the whatever you call us, the overgivers. We're all on the same spectrum. They're just on one extreme and we're on the other. They overgive and say and do things to get, and they overget. I think I said that right. They manipulate, a narcissist manipulates and behaves in ways to get, right? But a out of balance empath, an overgiver, manipulates. You will morph what you're saying and doing to make the person happy. We're doing the same thing. It's just our end goal is different. The end goal of a narcissist is to receive. The end goal of a overgiver is to give, so that they make the person happy for whatever reason. So the person likes them because they wanted to help the person. Who knows? I don't know all the pieces behind it. Does that make sense? Well, on one side we got take, 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 and we've got give, give, give. Those people usually find each other, and I'm the one who usually helps empaths like that are struggling with that. It's within us to heal this thing. Yes, actions speak louder than words. This is so helpful. Awesome, Jasmine. I'm glad. Same, Kelly. 2 daughters. Yes, yes. I call them our greatest healers, our kids and our spouses. I most definitely need to do this. Awesome. Amen. I have 4 daughters and I'm working on undoing the cycle as well. Awesome, Casey. Awesome. Yeah, I call it the dangling carrot. Sometimes I can't get moms to do the work for themselves, but I'll say to them, do you want your daughters to do this? And they go, oh, hell no, 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 no. I'm like, well, then it starts with you. And then all of a sudden there's all this motivational energy, and that's good. That's good. Okay. I love it. Paula gave Gary Lee the suggestion, selfish is self-love. That's it. And maybe another way to say it is, I'm just learning how to balance myself. It's not healthy to give, 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 or them, them, them. It's just not. We all know that. So let go of selfish, let go of everybody else saying selfish, and go to I'm going to balance. And then the last thing I'm going to say about this, because sometimes you can have some flare-ups when you start to move into balance with giving and receiving, is people will flare up. My family members have flared up and have said things like, you're being selfish, you're only thinking about yourself. And what really helped me is I started to see that we had a contract. And this is just in my own head, you guys, but use it if it helps you. I said, oh my God, we were playing that game of I give, 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 and you receive, receive. I committed to that game. I signed that contract, and now I'm changing the rules. No wonder you're frustrated with me. I have changed the rules. And I bring it back to me. I change the rules of the game without telling them. So I can either tell them the new rules and just say, I can see why you're frustrated. I'm working on balancing myself. I noticed that I was overgiving and I'm out of balance and I have no energy and I'm not doing my life purpose and I'm not happy with my life and I want to do it differently now. So you're going to see things differently with me. I noticed when I shared it with my family and friends, everything was better. Does that make sense? Everything was better. So I still get flare-ups every once in a while because it's not a static thing. It's a dynamic thing we're working with. Does that make sense? So it's okay. It's almost like we're on I don't want to say, I'm thinking of a tightrope, but I don't want it to feel that stressful. It's a dynamic thing we're working on. It's always leaning this way a little, that way a little. It's not static. Balance is not static. It's always this. Does that make sense? Okay, I'm going to answer any questions about that. So the theme of today was balancing your giving and receiving. Why is it important? It affects every area of your life, from your health to your finances, relationships. It's so important. How are we going to start this? If you want awareness, and awareness is just like, how would I respond to my daughter or my husband or this text, my friend, if I was going to do them first? And how would I respond to this if I was going to do me first? If you are brand new to this, it will be so weird. It will be so weird. I went on vacation for the first time, maybe in my life, by myself in October. I went to the grocery store because it was just me. I went Oh, Steph would like this. Oh, Lance would like this. I didn't even know how to go to the grocery store and buy groceries for me for the week. I didn't know how, as I had never done it. And this is like this too. Some of you are going to draw a blank. You won't even know what to do if you go, okay, if I was going to do me first, if I was going to think of me first, what would I say and do? If you've never thought this, you're going to go, I got nothing. I don't even know what I want. It's fascinating. Allow yourself to go through the process. Let anything that you notice be okay. Just like when I went to the grocery store and didn't know how to buy groceries for myself, I was okay with it. It just brought me to another level of awareness like, I was out of balance with this, and that it's okay. I'm just aware of it now, and now I get to practice buying food for myself. It sounds so silly, but it's so empowering to stay aware. Okay, I went off. I went off the rails there, maybe. Okay. Yeah, Kelly, you set expectations for them. Yes. And the caveat to that is I agree with you, but until you know what you want, play with it. If you know what you want, then that's great. Set those expectations. And then the trigger of this practice, if you're willing to try it, is what do you want? What do you really want? Okay, I got one more and then I've got a call with a client here at 12:30. I feel confused. It's not is not balanced, but you can start feeling like a narcissist, wanting the attention because you're drained enough and need to recharge and feel cared for as well. Two opposite poles. So is that a question, Deborah? I'm going to read it again. I feel confused. Is not balanced, but you can start feeling like a narcissist wanting the attention because you're drained enough. I don't know if that's a question or just a comment, Deborah, if I'm reading that right. There is a point if you get low enough and drained enough and that you can't function, that you are going to be the person who needs help, right? You're going to be the person laying in bed. You're going to be the person with some illness. If you do it long enough, we will become the people. And then you become the person that needs all the help. We don't want that. We don't want to go from that extreme to the other. So let's do it now while we're healthy and that we are aware. Let's start this practice now. Deborah, did I answer that? Yes, awesome, Deborah. Awesome. Okay, one more. I think that's such a hard question. What do you want? It's so simple, but it's so hard. Ariana, it's the hardest question that I can ask myself or someone else. I have clients every day coming to me, and I will ask them, what do you want? It is the hardest, most challenging question. It's so cool though that you recognize that, and I do too. In fact, it's such a hard question that people would rather go back to just giving, 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 go back to the old pattern, because that question, if you really sit in it, it calls you to be a bigger version of yourself. It calls you to dig deep. It causes you to bring up desires that you have shoved down for so long. Like, it's a big question. Maybe we can tackle it one day here and just pick away at it. Okay, thank you so much for being here today. I hope this is helpful. So the practice is just staying aware. How would I respond if it's them first? How am I going to respond if it's me first? You get to decide, of course, how you respond, but I want you to be aware first that you have choices, that we have choices. And then the goal after that is to start moving into a pattern of them, me, them, me, them, like however you want to do that. And it's not static, it's dynamic. It's something we're always going to be working on as we learn and grow and evolve. And it's something we want to teach to our children, of course. Okay, I hope that has been helpful. Have a great day, everybody. I'll see you back here next Tuesday. Okay, bye.